Lesson 1, I will investigate and use the formulas for area and perimeter of rectangles. So when you were in 3rd grade, you talked about the area and the perimeter of a rectangle. And today you're going to be investigating, which means you're going to be figuring out some formulas and you're going to be using those to find the area and the perimeter of rectangles. So in your problem set, I want you to go ahead and write your name, and then we're going to determine the perimeter and the area of rectangles A and B. So in your Zern lesson, you learned that area is equal to all the boxes inside, and you learned that perimeter is around. So there's a couple of ways that you could find the area. You could go through here and you could count all of these boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 this way. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 this way. You could just go through here and count 7 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 all the way through. You could skip count by 7s, or you can multiply 7 times 9. If you're still learning your multiplication facts, there is a multiplication chart in your agenda in the back that you can always use. For now, 7 times 9 is equal to 63. Now, to find the perimeter, we could go through and we could count all of the boxes around. We could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But as you can see, that can start to take a long time because this is 7, and this is 7, and this is 9, and this is 9. Then we could add up all the sides. We could say 9 plus 7 equals 16, and 9 plus 7 is still 16, and 16 plus 16 is equal to 32. So the perimeter would be 32. Now on this box you can see they did not show you all the boxes on the inside. That's because they want you to use the formula. The formula of area is going to be length times width. So let's see what the length is, or the width, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, area equals length times width. So we have to know what 9 times 6 is. Well, 9 times 6 is 54. For perimeter, we're going to add up all the sides. If this is 9, then this is 9. If this is 6, then this is 6. Well, 9 plus 6 is equal to 15, and 9 plus 6 is still 15. 15 plus 15 is equal to 30. So the perimeter is equal to 30. Now, we don't know if these are centimeters or inches, so we could just call these units, and all of these will just be, the area is 63 units, and this actually area is equal to square units, and then perimeter would just be units. So area, this is square units, and perimeter is 30 units. Now, if these said centimeters, then we would put square centimeters and centimeters, but we don't know what they are, so we're just going to call them units. All right, so now we're going to determine the perimeter and area of the rectangle. Well, this time I'm going to let you do A and B by yourself. Remember that perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width, and area is equal to length times width. If you get stuck and you're not sure what to do, you can always press play and I'll walk you through it. Okay, so let's take a look at the perimeter. So if the perimeter is length plus width plus length plus width, well, the length plus the width of this rectangle is 11. So 11 plus 11 is equal to 22 centimeters. Area is equal to length times width, and 5 times 6 is equal to 30. All right, so let's take a look at B. So again, perimeter is going to be length plus width plus length plus width. So 3 plus 8 is again 11, and 11 plus 11 is equal to 22. And then 8 times 3 would be the area, and 8 times 3 equals 24 square centimeters. So notice this time we use centimeters because they told us the units. All right, so we're going to do the same thing for A. Now I want you to notice that this time it does not say anything about area. It just says perimeter. So we're going to say length plus width plus length plus width. And notice this is meters. I think you can do A all by yourself. You can do B too, but you're going to have to be careful because you have some mixed units. I'd like for you to try to do these two by yourself, and then we'll come back and discuss them after you finish. Okay, so let's take a look at A. So remember, we were adding length plus width plus length plus width. So the first thing that I noticed here is that whenever I was trying to add this together, I noticed that 166 plus 99 was the same thing as 165 plus 100. I just took one away from the 66 and gave it to the 99 because I knew that I could add 100 pretty easily, and that gave me 265. So if these two sides are equal to 265, then these two sides are equal to 265, and together they equal 530 meters. All right, so let's take a look at, let's take a look at B. Again, we were adding length plus width plus length plus width. And the first thing I had to do is change these meters to centimeters so that I could add. And 1 meter 50 centimeters is equal to 150 centimeters. I learned that in Module 2. So 150 plus 75 was equal to 225. So if those two sides were equal to 225, then I knew that these two sides were equal to 225. So when I added 225 plus 225, I got 450 centimeters. Well, goodness gracious, sorry about that. All right, let's take a look at number 4. All right, this time we're going to have to do a little bit of problem solving. It says, given the rectangle's area, find the unknown side length. So I know that the width is 8, but I don't know the length, but I know that the area is equal to 80. So if 80, which is the area, is equal to 8 times whatever x is, then I've got to figure out what times 8 is equal to 80. Well, do you know? Well, hopefully you said 10. That means that if this is 10 centimeters, then that would make the area 80 centimeters. So x is equal to 10, not 8, 10 centimeters. See if you can do B all by yourself. Okay, so for B, you can see that I know the area. So I know that 49 is equal to 7 times whatever x is. So I have to figure out what times 7 is going to equal 49. Well, I know that 7 times 7 is equal to 49, so x must be equal to 7 centimeters. All right, let's take a look at number 5. So we're doing the same thing in number 5, except this time they gave us the perimeter. So remember, to find the perimeter, we have to add up all the sides. So if we know that this is 20, then we know that this is 20, and whatever x is going to be the same over here. So we know that 20 centimeters plus 20 centimeters plus x has to be equal to the perimeter, which is 120 centimeters. So 20 plus 20 is equal to 40. So 40 plus x is equal to 120 centimeters. So if I take away the 40, what's going to be left is the total of x plus x. So x plus x is equal to 120 minus 40. So x plus x is equal to 80. So now what does x have to be if when I add it to itself, it's equal to 80? So I'm thinking to myself, well, 20 plus 20 is 40, 30 plus 30 is 60, so x must be equal to 40, because 40 plus 40 is equal to 80. So x is equal to 40 centimeters. If you feel confident and you'd like to try to the next one all by yourself, go ahead. If you'd like to go ahead and do this one with me, go ahead and stick with me and we'll do this one together. All right, so again, we know that this side is 250. Now I will tell you, this looks like a square, but we're not for sure, but it looks like a square. All right, so I've got 250. So if this is 250, then this is 250. So I've got 250 plus 250 plus x is equal to 1,000. So that means that 250 plus 250, do you know what 250 plus 250 is? Well, I have 200s, 5 tens, plus 200s, 5 tens. That gives me 400s, 10 tens, which is equal to 500s. So I have 500 plus x is equal to 1,000. So now I have x plus x is equal to 1,000 minus 500. This is going to leave me with whatever x plus x is. Well, 1,000 minus 500 is equal to 500. Well, what plus what equals 500? Let's see. I think I just did that. Didn't I just do 250 plus 250? So that means that 250 plus 250 equals 500. So x must equal 250. So it looks like this rectangle actually was a square. All the sides were equal to 250. Each of the following rectangles has whole number side lengths. Given the area and the perimeter, find the length and the width. So this is going to be the bonus of this problem. It's the very last problem on this sheet, and you're going to notice that it's going to use a little bit of thinking skills, but I think together we can do it. So first of all, we know that the perimeter of this square is equal to 20 centimeters. And we know that the area is equal to 24 centimeters. And we've got to figure out the length and the width. So there are lots of numbers that add together to equal 20, but there's not that many numbers that equal together, that multiply together that equal 24. So the first thing I'm going to think to myself is what times what equals 24? Well, I know 1 times 24 equals 24. I know 2 times 12 equals 24. What about 3 times 8? And 4 times 6. Now, these are called the factors of 24, and you'll talk about these pretty soon in a couple of lessons down the road, but these are all numbers that when they multiply together, they equal 24. So what that says to me is that if I have a square that has a length of 1 and a width of 24, it has an area of 24, or a length of 2 and a width of 12, it has an area of 24. All of these could be the length or the width. So you might say to yourself, well, Miss Jennings, if all of these could be the length and the width, then how can I figure out the perimeter? Well, think about that. How could you figure out the perimeter? Well, you could add the sides together. So if my perimeter is 20, right off the bat, I know that this cannot be the length and width of this rectangle. Because if one side's 24, there's no way when I add the length and the width and the length and the width, I'm going to get 20. Because this is already more than 20. I could try 2 and 12, but again, I already know 12 plus 12 is equal to 24. So this can't be the perimeter either. So I've kind of narrowed it down to these two. Okay, my length could be 3 and 8, or it could be 4 and 6. So I'm going to try these. So 3 plus 8 plus 3 plus 8. And I'm hoping that I get 20. Well, 3 plus 8 is 11, plus 11 equals 22. So what that tells me is 3 and 8 are not the length and the width. So now I'm going to try 4 and 6. I'm pretty sure this is it because this is all that's left, but I'm going to try it anyways. All right, so I'm going to do 4 plus 6. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. So I've got 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 6. So that gives me 10 plus 10, which equals 20. So I found my length and the width. They must be 4 and 6. I'm not sure which one's, well, I can kind of tell. This must be 6 because it's the longer side, and this must be 4. Now the process that I just used here is called predict and test. I made a prediction. I thought, well, maybe it was 3 and 8. And then I tested it and I was wrong, so I had to make another prediction. So it must have been 4 and 6. Now the good thing about B is that if you'll notice, it has the same area as A. So what that means is that these four options that we already came up with, one of these has to be the length, and the width. I know it's not this because the perimeter of that is 20. Well, I already figured out the perimeter of 3 and 8, and it wasn't 28, it was 22. So I know it's not 3 and 8. I want you to take a look at these two. I want you to figure out which of these would give you a perimeter of 28. If you use your thinking skills, I'm sure you can figure this out. Okay, so hopefully you pause the video and you try to figure this out by yourself and you're not just copying what I'm writing. When you're doing that, you are really missing out on a lot of the learning. So when I was trying to figure out which one of these I was going to test first, I thought to myself, well, if the length and the width were 24, there's no way the perimeter could be 28 because together these equal 25 all by themselves. And I know if I add two 25s, I'm not going to get 28. So I was pretty sure that the length and the width were 2 and 12, but I went ahead and tested them anyway. And I got 2 plus 12 plus 2 plus 12, which equals 14 plus 14, which equals 28. So that means that the long side is 12 and the short side is 2. So today we talked about area and perimeter, and we learned some formulas. We learned that area is length times width, and we learned that perimeter is length plus width plus length plus width.